Content Studio, Pubblebox, Socialmonials, Promo Republic. You know you're a real LTD addict when you have all of the previous social media scheduling tools that AppSumo has ever offered, and you get a little bit excited when the one you missed shows up again. SocialBee is back for a second, well, technically third time around. And in this video, I'm going to be walking through the platform and showing you how it works so you can decide whether this is a good investment for your business. Hey everybody, I'm Dave from thatLTD.life, where I review software tools with lifetime offers. If you're new around here, make sure you don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell to get notified when new reviews are posted. Today we're looking at SocialBee. This is back on AppSumo, as I mentioned in the intro, $49. And if we go down to the plan here, you'll see something a little bit refreshing. There is no stacking. Whoa, a social media scheduling tool with no stacking? What is going on? Well, you're limited here. You can only add 10 profiles. So that would be a combination of, Facebook pages, Facebook groups, your Twitter profile, things like that. You only get to connect 10. There is an upsell. There is, once you're inside of the actual application, you can buy from them directly and upgrade this to 25 profiles. And we'll take a look at that a little bit later on. But essentially, you're only being limited here by 50 content categories with 5,000 posts each. So if you have 10 profiles and you have, 25,000 different posts, I mean, that's quite a bit. So that's what can be in there at any given time. You can also connect up to 50 RSS feeds. So that would be things like maybe the blog on your website you can tie in and pull information from, kind of like a missing letter type of feature. You do get their analytics. Interestingly enough, this particular platform, SocialBee, allows you to post to Google My Business. I believe they're the only platform on that has been on AppSumo that is currently offering this, although I think Content Studio is just about to release their integration, or it's available to some that are currently in the beta. So that is important if you're a local business owner or if you're an agency working with local businesses. This could be worthwhile just to have to connect up to, say, different clients' Google My Business accounts. All right, so there we go. That is a plan. Let's jump over to SocialBee. I just got my code. This is literally, I wasn't joking around in the intro. It's the only social media platform that has been on AppSumo that I know of that I don't already have. So let's take a look at it together here. So it says dashboard for my workspace. Now, what I recommend doing as the first thing once you go ahead and set up your account is you're actually going to want to go down to this little user settings here. Now, this is like a honeycomb because it's, it's a bee theme here. Maybe just overdoing it kind of first impressions, overdoing it with the bee theme a little bit, right? We got the bee background here. I have a bee up in the corner, the honeybee, honeycomb type of icons here. Like, I get it. It's a little too much for me personally. But when you're in your settings, what you're going to want to do is go right over to the Workspace Settings. And this would be like your client's name or your property's name. So I could, let's say, call this That LTD Life. And if you'd like, you can use a shortener here. So I can choose to link up to their shorteners, which would be sb.link or socialbee.xyz. However, they do have an integration with PixelMe. I'm going to point out that one first because that is an AppSumo platform and one that I actually use fairly regularly. So I'm happy to see PixelMe in here. You can also use Rebrandly and Bitly, both of which have some limited free plans as well. So that is important to note. Then they have an integration with Pocket, which is a way to discover new content online and then automatically bring it into SocialBee to post it. So if you see something relevant to your audience when you're browsing the web, you can use Pocket to easily share that later. All right, so that is kind of it for the settings. There are some advanced settings down here. It says you can enable or disable them. It's next in category sequence and switch item posting order in category. So we're gonna save that for later. You can also delete this workspace if you like, although because this is my default workspace, I don't think I can exist without any workspace at all. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna hit update here to change the name of my workspace. And if I go back out I can see that now it is titled That LTD Life, and I haven't connected any social profiles, so I'm actually going to need to go back to that honeycomb. I shouldn't have left it in the first place. Let's go over to where it says Workspace Profiles now. Before we were in the Workspace Settings. If I go to Workspace Profiles, I can start to connect up the different types of profiles. So let me go ahead and do this. I'll connect to Twitter. All right, easy peasy, added Twitter. Let me go ahead and add my Facebook profile. I can do that right here. Now this is interesting because I believe Facebook set up some rules so that you cannot post directly to Facebook. So we'll see how they handle that. Basically, you can't post directly to a Facebook profile. At least that's what I've been told from other scheduling platforms. So I want to know if I can post directly. That will be good to know. I can link up to a Facebook page. Let me go ahead and do that. So after I connected the Facebook and the Twitter page, it kind of took me back to this onboarding sequence, which is interesting. It's asking me to connect to LinkedIn. I don't know why it took me to the screen. It's kind of weird. I'm just going to hit finish onboarding, and it says you can re-enable that later. All right, let's actually just go back to my, the honeycomb has changed to the, that's nice. They actually changed the logo to what is probably on Twitter. So at least I don't have to keep seeing honey references literally everywhere. Let's connect a few more profiles here just to make sure that all the integrations work. So I thought I connected my Facebook page. I selected it and everything. It took me back to that LinkedIn screen. However, when I went back to the connected profiles, it says it's not there. So let me try to connect that page one more time and see. Maybe it was a bit of user error. I'm not sure. Continues Dave Swift. Yep, I'm connecting to that LTD Life. Okay. All these settings are fine. So it's asking me, if it can manage the page for me. I'm going to do that. It says it's now linked. This is the same message that I saw before. And go back and it's saying, okay, maybe I need to hit add here. Okay, that's what I did. I did not connect add. So that is my fault, I suppose. Let's go ahead and connect up my Facebook groups as well. Let's see how that works. And it's going to pull up a list of my groups here. Okay, so this is interesting. It's literally pulling in all of the groups that I'm a member of, not necessarily the ones that I administer. The other apps that I've used did not let you do this. So you can see that I'm a member of quite a few groups here. I'll go ahead and add That LTD Life group, and we'll go from there. But that is an interesting feature. Maybe it could get a little spammy, honestly, if you wanted to be, say, posting updates to other people's groups. I'm not sure how that will fly with the moderators of certain groups. Right, I could connect my LinkedIn profile here. Let's see how that works. I'll just log in very quickly and allow the connection. So far, everything's been fairly smooth with the one thing with, for some reason on the Facebook page, it made me come back and then actually hit add. Felt like that was a little bit strange. Now, I'm not actually going to connect the Google My Business because I don't have one for That LTD Life. Obviously, it's not a local business. And then there is this issue here with Instagram and Pinterest. Now, I find this a little bit peculiar with SocialBee. In order to post on Instagram or Pinterest, you actually have to go through another social media management platform, either Hootsuite or Buffer. So basically the way this works is you set up a Buffer account and then you connect to Instagram via Buffer, and then you post to Buffer from SocialBee. So this is getting a little bit, inceptionist for me. Like it's a little too far. I don't really want to have to set up one account to manage another account to manage another account. That feels like it's a bit of a stretch personally, but let's see how it works. I'll go ahead and sign up for a Buffer account and test it out. Now, before I set up a Buffer account and connect to it, I just want to point out that, if you haven't heard of Buffer, it's a very established social media scheduling platform, very well funded. I believe it's a pretty profitable application as well. There's never been an LTD on it. So they have, usually are kind of first to market with a lot of features. So they have Instagram direct posting, and they have this nice diagram to help clarify whether or not you'll be able to post directly to Instagram. So essentially, you need to have a business account, and if you're posting a single image or a video, you'll be able to do direct scheduling. Everything else, you'll get one of those annoying reminders on your phone, and then you have to click through the app to go ahead and post it. Now with SocialBee, they don't currently have an app, so you would actually either have to use the Buffer app. I'm not even sure if that's available on their free plan. They are developing a social app for SocialBee. It's coming out, but it's not available yet. So that's definitely something to be aware of. You have to make sure you're set to business account on Instagram, and there are plenty of guides on how to do that, so I'm not going to spend too much time figuring that out. All right, let me go ahead and link up Buffer, and then we'll try out posting to Instagram. All right, here I am inside of my Buffer account. Now let's go ahead and link up to my That LTD Life Instagram account. So let's go over to Instagram here, and you can kind of see a brief glimpse into the back end. I'm actually going to need to switch accounts for this, and let's pull up the correct one here. I'll show you in a second what Buffer looks like in the back end, just to kind of compare. Let's go ahead and authorize here. All right, so now it's telling me to, those reminders will be coming out, and make sure I download the app and enable push notifications. I'll go to the dashboard. Okay, so real quick, this is, let's see, would you like to set up direct scheduling for Instagram? Yes, let's do it. All right, why do I need to authenticate through Facebook? All right, basically we have to connect one more time through Facebook in order to do this. All right, now I have set up the integration with Buffer to do the direct Instagram posting. But real quickly, this is not SocialBee, this is Buffer. I know this might be confusing if you just jump to the middle of the video, but here you can see the connected profiles. Now with the free Buffer account, I believe you only get 2 connected profiles. So I've already used one with Instagram. So maybe the other one I need to use, if I jump back here, is Pinterest. Oh, actually Pinterest, you have to use Hootsuite because it looks like Buffer does not publish to Instagram. So, Buffer does not publish to Pinterest. So I could connect a Facebook profile or a Twitter profile here, and you can actually get to those from inside of SocialBee. Not going to be covering that in this video, but it's interesting to note. So you see a little bit of a schedule here. There's past reminders. If you've missed things, you can see some analytics and set up how you'd like the link shortening to work basically inside of Buffer. So now that that's all set, let's get back to SocialBee, and I'll go ahead and link up my SocialBee and Buffer accounts so that I can post on Instagram. I'm getting dizzy. All right, allow access. All right, then it does notice my Instagram account, so I'll go ahead and hit add there. Great, you can see I've already got 6 profiles connected, a couple different Facebook instances. We got Instagram. We're going to skip Pinterest, and we're going to skip Google My Business here. But the Pinterest integration is very similar to the Instagram one in that you need to have a Hootsuite account, which is a kind of a competitor to Buffer, and then you'll link up SocialBee to that. So that LTD Life, this one over here, that is a business profile. So I should be able to do direct posting from this app right to Instagram. So let's see how that works. Now, I did want to mention before we go any further that if I click on this license option right here inside the user setting, there's a little bit of an upsell available for me. Now, this is only going to be available while the deal is running on AppSumo. So whenever that ends, this will go away. And basically what you're going to be able to do is add 4 more workspaces. So remember, we changed the name of the workspace in the beginning to be for the asset that I'm working on. That's That LTD Life. And then I'd also be able to connect up to 25 accounts. Now, the content categories and the content sources become unlimited, and then the audience tools stay the same. So I don't think this is too much of a selling point, right? Really, what most people are going to be after is this additional connected accounts. If you've kind of hit your limit and you need to connect more, this would be the one-time option to do that. Otherwise, you'd have to upgrade to a paid monthly plan. All right, let's see how this tool actually works now that we're done with all of the setup. So here is the dashboard for That LTD Life, and I can see all of my social media accounts, and it says that the content is not running. So it wants me to click here to enable it, and it also wants me to click here to schedule some posting times. So I'm just going to hit set all content to running, and it says that I'll turn on all 6 profiles. There we go. All of those switches were flipped. Now I do need to set some posting times. So why don't I go to here to set up the schedule? Now this is actually taking me to this tab over here in the sidebar, and it's asking if I would like them to set up a schedule for me based on best practices, or I can start from scratch. Well, I like to see what these tools have to offer. So I will say, yes, go ahead and create a schedule. Now, my kind of reactions here as I'm going through this, comparing it to Bubblebox, which was the most recent social media tool, for not counting missing letter, that had hit AppSumo and actually had a full review of Bubblebox. The scheduling options, this was much faster in terms of setting it up. The one click and just go. I'm a fan of that. And the way this interface works looks already much faster. I wonder if I can just click and drag this. I can't. So I actually have to choose the day and the time if I wanted to move it around. But you can see it would tell me which profiles I should post to. So this particular post is for Twitter. However, I could maybe turn on Instagram for it if I wanted to as well. All right. So I do like the fact that it can post directly to Instagram. That's definitely going to sway in my decision whether I want to hang on to this code or not. Currently, Promo Republic is rumored to have a version of direct Instagram posting in the works that's very close to release, is what I've heard. Also, Bubblebox has said they've begun work on it, but they didn't have any sort of release date, really any actual information on when that was going to come out. So, Instagram is a pretty important platform these days, and being able to publish directly to it, I think, is kind of essential if you're doing social media management. So keep that in mind if you're considering this tool. Connecting up through Buffer is a little bit weird, but if you just do it once and it's set up, all right, well, who really cares at that point, I guess. So let's see, the schedule setup is done, and I can see by profile here, it looks like that it's going to post, let's see, maybe it looks like twice a day, 7 days a week. So 14 posts for Facebook. Let's see how many times for Instagram. A little bit less for Instagram. Looks like twice a day, except for on the weekends, it only posts once. So that'd be like 11 posts. And for the Facebook page, it looks like it's doing kind of the once a day. Now, Twitter, holy smokes, it has a lot of volume here. That looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 posts a day, 7 days a week. So 56 posts in total. Wow. All right. And then looks like all of the Facebook pages have just the 2 posts. I thought I had looked at Instagram. Maybe that must have been LinkedIn. It was telling me to post. I apologize for that. LinkedIn was 11 times a day. It makes sense. LinkedIn is more of a business tool, so it's not advising you to post on the weekends there. But for Instagram, it looks like twice a day. It does kind of tell you the categories for which you should post, which is a major feature inside of SocialBee, how they categorize things. And we're actually going to look at that right now. So these are the content categories. There's some setup for you by default, but you're going to see these little labels next to them, and they signify whether the content is meant for evergreen posting, meaning they'll be posted throughout the year multiple times, or share once posting. So this would be more topical, say news or seasonal posts, and then things like blog posts, maybe that are promoting your content, your services. That might be evergreen content that you want reposted again and again. If you look at the schedule, this might make some more sense. So you'd fill up each one of these folders in a sense. And let's go back to the schedule and I'll show you what I mean. So here is the schedule that it generated for me. It's got quotes, questions, and fun, which is one of the categories. It's posting that 3 times a week at 6 o'clock, 4 times a week at 7 o'clock. Then over here on Instagram, it's posting it 7 days a week as well. So there's a lot of that particular category. Here's the curated category, and it's posting that. It looks like 7 times a week as well. So ideally, you could fill up your queue with these different types of posts. And once you have enough volume in there, you could just kind of manage, which ones were doing well, keep those being posted often, and which ones weren't getting much reaction at all. Maybe delete those and start adding a few to replace them. So the idea is that you're not always having to be creating completely fresh posts, but you're still going to need probably several hundred to remain fresh. All right, so the posting situation would be that you can click on any one of these categories and post from here. Of course, you can just hit the plus button right here and go ahead and create a post as well and you choose the category from this menu. So what I want to do is connect up the RSS feed for that LTD.life so that when I post new reviews on the website, it automatically gets brought into SocialBee and they can be easily posted on the different social platforms I've already connected. So I'm going to hit add RSS right here and I will choose a category. This is going to go under our blog posts. I'll paste in the RSS feed. let's see, the append text. This is going to add some text at the end of each imported content. I'm not sure if I want it to do that or not, so I'll have to wait and see what it looks like. Hopefully there's a way to change it later. Add posts as approved. I don't want to do that. I want to see what it looks like before things get posted. So I'm going to turn that off. You can set posts to expire after they're posted a number of times. So I don't want any post to go up more than, say, 6 times, especially for LTDs. They're generally going to expire at a certain point. Whoops, it looks like that went away. I'll up that a little bit. I'll make it 10 times. And you can also have it expire after a certain number of days or months. And I will do, how about 45 days? That sounds good. I'll hit create here, and it says, you got to select a social media profile, of course. So let's go ahead and just choose all of them, and I'll hit create. Now it's pulling in the data from the RSS feed. All right, so here are the settings. I could go in here and edit to add the append text later. That is good to know. I actually want to see if it brought in any content. So let's go over to the categories, and I'll go to our blog posts and see if it has any posts here waiting for me. And sure enough, it does. Here's the Curio Bot review, deposit photos. Now, for example, like deposit photos has expired. So I'm actually going to delete this one. All right, so are you sure you want to delete this post? Yes, I am. So you can see that they're marked as not approved. What I'd probably want to do is spend some time going through and creating the post, even though the link is all here and it doesn't have very good images that it's pulling in. It's kind of just getting, it's not using the featured post, which is, the featured image, which is interesting. I would expect it to do that. But I would probably want to go through and actually create a post for each social media type to make it kind of appropriate to that platform, which is obviously going to take a lot of work. So let me click on this and see, it just says the name, this is the preview. That would look pretty bad inside of Facebook if I were to post that. You can create a different post for each network that you chose right here. So, maybe on Twitter, you'd want to have a shorter amount of content than you would on Facebook, for example, just given the limits and post length. But as it is, that's not really helpful, right? Because it's not pulling in the featured image, and it's just kind of saying the title of the post here. It's not grabbing, any of that snippet text or that, I forget what they call it inside of WordPress, but basically that little bit of text to kind of lead into the blog post. It'd be nice if it was smart enough to do that. And I don't know, why it wouldn't necessarily do that. Let's see if I click this replace link. Does it give me, it just wants me to upload a new photo. All right, so that makes the utility of this application be a little bit less than I wanted it to. It would be interesting to know if maybe this is because I'm using a custom post type inside of WordPress. So let me actually just find a different blog, like a WordPress blog, and try to link that up to see if it's smart enough to grab the featured images from that type of blog post. All right, so I'm going to add another RSS feed, and I'm actually going to choose blogs from RSS for this one. Remember, that was not an evergreen post. It would be nice just maybe to have some signification, whether these were going to be evergreen or one-time posts inside of the categories. Just a small thing, but it'd be cool to see that. I'm going to go ahead and actually post Derek Sivers, who's the founder of CD Baby. He's got a great blog, and let's go ahead and bring these in. Again, I'm going to turn this off. I won't set up any expirations here, and I'll just add this to Facebook to save time because I'm not actually going to be I'm actually going to be posting this at all. It's pulling in the RSS feed here, and let's see if it does a little better job with this, which I believe is just a standard WordPress blog. So let's go back over to the categories and go to blogs from RSS. And here it actually is pulling in some featured images. So that's good to know. It's probably because I'm using a custom post type that it wasn't able to grab the featured image. However, it is still a standard, kind of WordPress post. So other tools like Missing Letter that I have used do grab that image. So, kind of a good A/B there. If you're using a custom post type for your posts, Missing Letter is a better fit kind of right out of the gates. Okay, so we're starting to kind of wrap this up. There's not a whole lot more that you need to do. The standard kind of workflow is going to be you'll log into SocialBee, you'll hit the plus button up here, and you can start to add your content. Once you've added your content, you'll choose a category, and you can kind of start to set those running to fill up the schedule. You can see that you can set this to expire on a specific time of day. You can also have it post only a certain number of times. But that's the idea, right? It's kind of a very modular approach to social media, and it's not one that requires you to necessarily do work every single day, or maybe to upload 40 or 50 different posts once a month, you can really just kind of set it up and somewhat forget it. So let's make sure we hit all of the bases on the interface here. This is the dashboard where you can see all of the content that's running. I'm going to hit stop all content because I don't want anything to go out accidentally. I can add a new post right here. This is another link to the dashboard. This is actually where you'd switch between workspaces. I may have demonstrated that improperly. You can see all of your different categories from this screen. You'd also be able to navigate to, say, content you bring in from Zapier or using that Pocket app we spoke about at the beginning. Then you can go ahead and look at your schedule down here. It's going to be grabbing approved content from your categories and pulling it into your calendar. And then you have some metrics down here where you can see the analytics. Now, obviously, I've not actually posted, so we're not getting any analytics, but you could sort through that by the different types of profiles that you've connected. And you can also see your post history here. You'll be able to see things like engagements and whether people are responding to your content. All right, the last tab over here is for audience, and this is just a series of tools that allow you to search Twitter specifically, and only Twitter, to find elements that are similar to you online, either businesses or people that like the same things. So you can see there's a user search here, a competitor audience where you could look up another Twitter handle and see their audience, keyword search, and upload followers where you could actually upload a list of followers and see them inside of SocialBee. You can't follow them. It's not that. It's not going to like automatically go through and follow them for you. But you could see their data inside of SocialBee. You see their fans, friends. This will be people who are following you. So, a lot of these features, I think you can get right inside of the Twitter app. I don't see a ton of value in this audience section. It's cool that they're trying to do something in this space. I just hope it develops a little bit more, because as it is right now, I'm not really getting, a ton of usability from it. You can start to whitelist or blacklist users. You can see there's some options here to say, add this person to the whitelist. But as it is, that's kind of all that SocialBee has to offer in the audience category. So SocialBee is a pretty interesting social platform. I like how they organize the posting of content. I wish they were able to support my custom post type inside of WordPress, but I guess you just get what you get, right? So my FOMO has kind of waned a little bit since finding out that that feature didn't work for me personally. But if you're not using a custom post type, maybe you're getting more and more excited about SocialBee as you watch this video. So I'm going to go ahead and give this one a pretty solid score. This is going to be a good 8.2. I could up the score a little bit if they had maybe a direct integration with Instagram or Pinterest. I know that those platforms are really important to a lot of people. So relying on a kind of a third party is a little bit risky, in my opinion. That could get broken at any point. Maybe Buffer says, we don't want people just manipulating our API connections so that you can build another platform and not pay us. I could see that getting cut off, if it reaches a critical mass in the future. So that's going to do it for this review. If you found this review helpful and you're going to go ahead and make a purchase, I'd really appreciate it if you click the link in the description. That's the referral link for this channel. It kicks us back a few bucks when you go ahead and make a purchase. It doesn't cost you anything extra, just helps us out as part of AppSumo's affiliate program. So that's going to do it for this video. Make sure you hit like if you liked the video. You made it all the way to the end. Let me know you appreciate the content. And leave me a comment down below. What is your favorite social media posting platform right now? Are you using any of the AppSumo tools, or are you using maybe a paid monthly tool like Buffer or Hootsuite? That's going to do it for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.